Hello students, welcome to Study Zone. Let's learn together. Today in this video I'll be discussing with you some important question and answers of chapter 2 Microorganisms Friend and Foe of your NCERT science textbook. So your first question is, what are microorganisms? Answer: the living organisms which cannot be seen with the naked eye and can only be observed through a microscope are called microorganisms or microbes. Second question. Name the major group of microorganisms. Write two examples each. First, bacteria. Example, Bacilli cocci. Second, virus. Example, Vaccinia virus, influenza virus. Third, algae. Example, seaweeds, Spirogyra. Fourth, fungi. Example, yeast, mushroom. Fifth, protozoa. Example, amoeba, paramecium. Third question. Differentiate between algae and fungi. Algae are autotrophic. Fungi are heterotrophic, saprophytic. Algae. Most of the algae are aquatic. Fungi. Most of the fungi are terrestrial. Algae. The cell wall is made up of cellulose. Fungi. The cell wall is made up of chitin. Fourth question. How is curd formed? Explain with equations. Answer. Warm milk turns acidic when curd is added. Milk contains a sugar called lactose. Lactobacillus bacteria present in the curd help in converting the lactose present in the milk to lactic acid by the process of fermentation. This creates the acidic medium needed for casein protein present in the milk to coagulate to form curd. Fifth question. How do viruses differ from other organisms? Answer. The word virus means poisonous liquid. Viruses are the smallest microorganisms. They can only be seen under an electron microscope. They are acellular, that means they do not have any of the substances present in a cell. Viruses cannot reproduce on their own. They are non-living. When they enter a living cell, they use the energy of the living cell to reproduce. Viruses are said to be a connecting link between living and non-living things. Example, coronavirus, influenza virus, poliovirus. Sixth question. Why do we use yeast cells in bakeries and baking industries? Answer. For baking bread, yeast along with a little sugar is mixed with flour to make dough. The dough is kept in a warm place. The yeast uses sugar present in dough as food. During the breakdown of sugar, carbon dioxide and alcohol are formed. This process is called fermentation. The dough rises due to carbon dioxide. When this dough is used to make bread and is baked, carbon dioxide escapes from the loaf, making it light and fluffy. Seventh question. What are antibiotics? Give two examples. Answer. The medicines produced by living organisms such as bacteria and fungi which kill or stop the growth of the disease-causing microorganisms, pathogens present in our body are called antibiotics. Example, streptomycin, tetracycline. Eighth question. How do microorganisms help in cleaning the environment? Answer. The microorganisms decompose dead organic wastes of plants and animals by converting them into harmless, simpler substances which are restored to the soil and increase its fertility. In the absence of these microorganisms, the piles of dead organisms would have covered the earth. Some bacteria decompose sewage and other wastes of water. This is a natural method to keep water clean. In this way, they help keep the environment clean. Ninth question. What are pathogens? How do they enter our body? Answer. Some of the microorganisms cause diseases in human beings, plants, and animals. Such disease-causing microorganisms are called pathogens. Pathogens enter our body through the air we breathe, the water we drink, or the food we eat. 10th question. Explain the mode of transmission of diseases. Answer. A. Through the air we breathe. Microorganisms that cause common cold, tuberculosis, pneumonia, etc. spread through the air we breathe. For example, when a person suffering from common cold sneezes or coughs, fine droplets of moisture-carrying germs are released in the air. When a healthy person breathes such air, the germs enter his or her body and infect the person. For this reason, we should keep a hand or handkerchief on our mouth and nose while coughing and sneezing. B. Through the water we drink. Some diseases spread through water. Example, cholera, typhoid, jaundice, etc. The cholera-causing microbes enter a healthy person through the water he or she drinks and infect them. After floods or any other natural calamity, we are advised to drink boiled water. Why? This is because many disease-causing microorganisms are present in the water at that time. Boiling of water kills the microorganisms. C. Through the food we eat. Protozoa, bacteria, and spores of fungi are present in the soil from where they enter our food. Therefore, we should wash fruits and vegetables after bringing them from the market. D. Through insects and animals. There are some insects and animals which act as carriers of disease-causing microbes. These animals are called vectors. 11th question. After floods or any other natural calamity, we are advised to drink boiled water. Why? Answer. This is because many disease-causing microorganisms are present in the water at that time. Boiling of water kills the microorganisms. 12th question. Explain two methods of food preservation. Also discuss the advantage of food preservation. Preservation by sugar. Sugar reduces the moisture content of the food, thus inhibits the growth of food spoiling microorganisms. Jams, jellies, and squashes are preserved by sugar. By dehydration. Since moisture is one of the main requirements for microbial growth, removal of water from food materials is an efficient method of food preservation. The process of removal of water from a substance is called dehydration. Sun drying is a traditional method of preserving food. Wheat, rice, and pulses are cleaned and dried in the sun. Vegetables like cauliflower, spinach, and methi are also preserved in this manner for a long time. Advantages of food preservation. It decreases the wastage of food by avoiding spoilage. It increases the storage period of food materials. Nutritional value of food is retained for a long time. It ensures the food availability at distant places and during the off-season. 13th question. Draw a neat diagram to show nitrogen cycle and explain the process of nitrification and denitrification. Nitrification. Ammonium salt in the soil is converted first into nitrites by Nitrosomonas bacteria. The nitrites are then converted into nitrates by Nitrobacter bacteria. These bacteria are called nitrifying bacteria. The nitrates so formed in the soil can once again be absorbed by the plants. This process is called nitrification. So, the conversion of ammonia into nitrates is called nitrification. Denitrification. Some of the nitrates are absorbed by the plants. Rest of the nitrates in the soil are converted by Pseudomonas bacteria into nitrogen gas which escapes into the atmosphere. The conversion of nitrates into free nitrogen gas by denitrifying bacteria Pseudomonas is called denitrification. Thus, the nitrogen cycle maintains the percent of nitrogen in the atmosphere more or less constant. 14th question. Describe the principle on which the following methods of food preservation are based. A. Boiling. B. Canning. C. Freezing. And D. Dehydration. Boiling. Boiling is the rapid vaporization of a liquid, which occurs when a liquid is heated to its boiling point. The temperature at which the vapor pressure of the liquid is equal to the pressure exerted on the liquid by the surrounding atmosphere. Canning. Canning is a method of preserving food in which the food contents are processed and sealed in an airtight container, jars like mason jars and steel and tin cans. Canning provides a shelf life typically ranging from 1 to 5 years, although under specific circumstances it can be much longer. Freezing. During freezing, the water in the food is separated out from other food components and is frozen. Thus, food is preserved from deteriorating influences such as temperature and water. The lower temperature slows down the rate of chemical reaction and water is also removed from the sphere of activity. Dehydration. The basic principles involved in the food dehydration are reviewed. Major emphasis is placed on types of water held in foods, heat of vaporization of water in food product, equilibrium moisture and water activity relationship, and dehydration rate mechanism. So, in this video we have covered all the important question and answers of your textbook. Please subscribe my channel and click the bell icon. And don't forget to like, comment and share my video. Bye!